What's going on, everybody? What is going on? It is Tuesday, December 31st, 2024. We are at day 366. We are on the last day of 2024. And what a way to end the year off than with a live triple P. Man, and let me tell you, I've been bookmarking stuff for this live stream up until about maybe 30 minutes ago. Like I was going in with the bookmarks. Like this is going to be a very fun stream, as y'all already know. Like I'm sure y'all already heard everything. I'm up to show you as much as we possibly can. That's why I decided to start it a little bit early, because I know it is New Year's Eve. So I know some of y'all are probably going out tonight and partying and whatnot. And I don't want to hold y'all up from kicking off y'all festivities. But before we get into everything, make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure you hit the share button. Hit the subscribe button if you are new to the channel. And if you are new to the channel, I'm glad that you are here. Hit the bell twice to be notified whenever I upload a new video or go live, or just simply join the Discord and you can get notified in there. But before we go ahead and get started with everything, let me see who's in the chat so far. We got Wallow J, Raging Woody, SD Johnson, Miss Nisi. Some of y'all was in here since this morning because I think I directed y'all here from the premiere video I did this morning. Panther Strike, Lana L, Anita Harrell, No Guts, No Glory, Hacksign KT, Reparations Nation, Jay the Informant, Derry B, SD Johnson, Cosmo Fury, Leonard DeYuta, Eddie Foster, Tangy2936, Damon Reeves, Jerry Bedford, Church, Jerome, Gina, Anti-Hero. Shout out to Mr. Carrington for subscribing. Brett Singh, songwriter. Letitia, Tamika's Den. Shout out to Lisa Cabrera for the 50. I'm glad that you are here. If y'all are not subscribed to Lisa Cabrera's channel, I don't know what's wrong with you. But shout out to Lisa for the 50. I greatly appreciate it. And Wallow J is here as well. So, also Ramesses Hamilton just popped up in the chat. We are going to have a good time tonight, y'all, this evening, whatever you want to call it. So I think the best way for me to start this off, because this is like the perfect way to do it, and let me share my screen, is with this imagery right here. Who in this chat is familiar with this quote right here? Put a 1 in this chat if you're familiar with this quote. Let me zoom in a little bit more just in case y'all can't see it. Oh, it's already zoomed in. This famous quote by Lyndon B. Johnson, LBJ. He said many moons ago, "I'll tell you what's at the bottom of it. If you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on and he'll empty his pockets for you." I think that's the best way to kick this off, considering that's exactly what a lot of PC have been doing, especially when it comes to us over the years. And they found out last week that they were the butt end of the joke. So now that we've gone through that, let me get to this part right here. Now, before I get into the funny part, because I want to go over some things, I want to go over or read to y'all what this H-1B program is, because that's what this whole fight on Twitter is all about. And I found this on the Department of Labor's, the U.S. Department of Labor's website. So this is a pretty legit, straightforward definition of what this H-1B is that they're about to implement. All right, so it says the H-1B program applies to employers seeking to hire non-immigrant aliens as workers in specialty occupations or as fashion models of distinguished merit and ability. A specialty occupation is one that requires the application of a body of highly specialized knowledge and the attainment of at least a bachelor's degree or its equivalent. The intent of the H-1B provision is to help employers who cannot otherwise obtain needed business skills and abilities from the U.S. workforce by authorizing the temporary employment of qualified individuals who are not otherwise authorized to work in the United States. The law establishes certain standards in order to protect similarly employed U.S. workers from being adversely affected by the employment of the non-immigrant workers, as well as to protect the H-1B non-immigrant workers. Employers must attest to the Department of Labor that they will pay wages to the H-1B non-immigrant workers that are at least equal to the actual wage paid by the employer to other workers with similar experience and qualifications for the job in question, or the prevailing wage for the occupation in the area of intended employment. On January 15th, 2021, the U.S. Department of Labor issued an Office of Foreign Labor Certification H-1B program bulletin and a wage and hour division field assistance bulletin, revising its interpretation of its regulations concerning which employers of H-1B workers must file labor condition applications. The department of simultaneously submitted a notice for publication in the Federal Register announcing and requesting public comments on this interpretation. On January 20th, 2021, the department withdrew its notice from the Office of the Federal Register prior to its publication, and it is now withdrawing the bulletin in FAB for the purpose of considering the process for issuing this interpretation, as well as reviewing related issues of law, fact, and policy. Accordingly, the requirements of the bulletin and FAB are no longer in effect. The department will notify the public of any further actions as appropriate once it completes its review. And then it goes into some other things. I'm not going to go into every single detail, but this one says disqualified and willful violator employers. It says DOL maintains a list of individuals or corporations who, as a result of an H-1B investigation final agency action, have been disqualified from approval of petitions to participate in the non-immigrant program. In addition, willful violator employers are subject to random investigation by the Department of Labor for a period of up to 5 years from the date that the employer is determined to be a willful violator. And then it has a bunch of it says the civil, money, penalty, inflation adjustments, and it's like, it's a lot of numbers here and there. What I'll do is I'll post the link in the chat and I'll let you see for yourself what this H-1B is, because this is what they're going crazy over on Twitter. This is what they're losing their minds over right now. But this is something that's been implemented since January of 2021. The same January where they ran up into the Capitol and did what they did on the 6th. In the background, this is what they had going on. So now that we've gotten through all of the technical stuff, who's ready for a good laugh? Put a laughing emoji in the chat if y'all are ready to laugh out loud, because this is where it gets interesting. All right, y'all. So let's get into it. Let's start here. So this was the first post that I saw on Christmas Day where it kicked everything off. And this is coming from a page on X called the AF Post. It says, facing backlash over his support for mass immigration, Elon Musk has said in response to white men not getting hired that we're just dumb. So let's look and see what they're saying. So you have this person right here named Hugo Vale said white men aren't being hired anymore. It's funny how these are the same group of people that say they claim that they don't see race, but they see it now that they are on the receiving end of what black people have typically gone throughout history. He goes on to say, a few months ago, I applied to work for X and noted on my resume that I was retired and didn't require any salary. I have a lot of experience as a mobile developer. Didn't even get a response. The first reply that came to him from Elon Musk was, we're just dumb. That is how Elon Musk decides to reply to this white guy who applied for a job working for his company. That was just 3 words. We're just dumb. But there's more. Elon also said, no, we need more like double that number yesterday. And I think he was replying to something. It was another post he was replying to. He said the number of people who are super talented engineers and super motivated in the USA is far too low. Think of this like a pro sports team. If you want your team to win the championship, you need to recruit top talent wherever they may be. That enables the whole team to win. And that's just Elon's picture. We don't need to go any further than that. So this is where all of this kind of kicked off. And shout out to Thought Crimes right here, because they put a post up in reply to this, and they said, I don't want to say I told you so, but all that anti-black stuff on this app was to distract you from the real end game, master manipulator, hashtag Thought Crimes. What did the quote at the beginning say from LBJ about convincing the white man to be better than the lowest, the best colored man, convincing the lowest white man to be better than the lowest, the best? Y'all know what he said. I can't articulate it correctly. But that's literally what they did. They literally took what Lyndon B. Johnson said and applied it, and it worked like a charm. It has been working like a charm. When Elon bought X back in 2020, whatever, with Twitter back in 2020, whatever, and allowed them to have their quote unquote free speech, and we're going to go over it. It was a lot of them crashing out about that free speech. They thought they had it good because they could say the N word at 500%. So let's continue going. We're gonna pause on Elon right quick, and then we're gonna move on to Ramen Noodle, because he just fanned the flames even higher. He said, "This is Vivek Ramen Noodles suggests Americans are being turned over for foreign workers because they are brought up in a lazy culture, unlike Asian immigrants. A culture that celebrates the prom queen over the math Olympiad champ or the jock over the valedictorian will not produce the best engineers." Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here, because I have the full post that he made. This is a lengthy post too, and we're gonna read it. We ain't got nothing but time on our side, y'all. We ain't got nothing but time. He said the reason top tech companies often hire foreign-born and first-generation engineers over quote-unquote Native Americans isn't because of innate American IQ deficit, a lazy and wrong explanation. A key part of it comes down to the C word, culture. Tough questions demand tough answers, and if we're really serious about fixing the problem, we have to confront the truth. Our American culture has venerated mediocrity over excellence for way too long, at least since the 90s, and likely longer. That doesn't start in college, it starts young. A culture that celebrates the prom queen over the math Olympiad champ or the jock over the valedictorian will not produce the best engineers. A culture that venerates Corey from Boy Meets World or Zack and Slater over Screech in Saved by the Bell or Stefan over Steve Urkel in Family Matters will not produce the best engineers. Fact, I know multiple sets of immigrant parents in the 90s who actively limited how much of their kids could watch those TV shows precisely because they promoted mediocrity, and their kids went on to become widely successful STEM graduates. Now, keep this in mind. People like Ramen Noodle and Elon, this is who PC propped up for so long. And we kept trying to tell them about these two, especially KG, and I see KG's in the chat. We've been telling them about them for so long, but they didn't listen to us because all they had to do was say, make America great again, Trump 2025, and anything anti-black. And they fell and hung on every word, not realizing the trick bag that they was about to put each and every last one of them in. And keep this in mind, y'all, the inauguration isn't even here yet. Trump is still under the category of president-elect. He put Elon Musk and Ramen Noodle in a made-up cabinet position that they just created. Like I said, this has gotten interesting before it could get really interesting. And shout out to Church for the 6-month membership. He said, these folks have turned into pirates. I appreciate you. Let me continue. More movies like Whiplash, fewer reruns of Friends. More math tutoring, fewer sleepovers, more weekend science competitions, fewer Saturday morning cartoons, more books, less TV, more creating, less chilling, more extracurriculars, and less hanging out at the mall. Most, and you can tell by some of the examples that Ramen Noodles used as examples for television shows who he was talking to based on the show. He said Friends, he said Saved by the Bell, Family Matters, and Boy Meets World. Now, granted, when it comes to shows like Boy Meets World, Saved by the Bell, and Family Matters, there was a mixed crowd that watched that, especially with Family Matters. But when he said Friends, we know Friends, without the shadow of a doubt, had a majority PC audience. He said, now close your eyes and visualize which families you knew in the 90s or even now who raised their kids according to one model versus the other. Be brutally honest. Normalcy doesn't cut in a hyper competitive global market for technical talent. And if we pretend like it does, we'll have our asses handed to us by China. This can be our Sputnik moment. We've awakened from slumber before and we can do it again. Trump's election hopefully marks the beginning of a new golden era in America, but only if our culture fully wakes up. A culture that once again prioritizes achievement over normalcy, excellence over mediocrity, nerdiness over conformity, hard work over laziness. That's the work we have to cut out for us rather than wallowing in victimhood and just wishing or legislating alternative hiring practices into existence. I'm confident we can do it. Now, I want you to pay attention to the last things that he said about mediocrity and laziness. That's something that has been thrown onto the Black community by them for so long. And the reason why they're flipping out the way that they are is because he told it about them. See, that's not a label or a title that they were supposed to be put onto them. That's only supposed to be relegated to us. That's another reason why they crashed out all over Twitter and still are. Like I told you, for those who missed it in the beginning, I was bookmarking things to talk about in this live up until 30 minutes before the stream began. That lazy and being shiftless and not working and doing all of that, that wasn't supposed to be for them. At least so they thought. That's why they're losing their minds right now. So that's the long, lengthy post that Ramen Noodles had to say. But don't worry, we got some more stuff we're going to go and discuss. But let me see if I can pull this up. So, man, oh man. And shout out to Kid Gravity for the $4.99. He said Family Matters was a STEM sitcom. Exactly. Steve Urkel was, he was deep into science. Hey, kid, we about to talk about one of our favorite people, Laverne Spicer. Look at what she said, because not only did this spark people to crash out the way that they did, but you had people literally up here trying to catch cop please, like what she's about to do, what she did. Now, keep this in mind, Laverne Spicer, she has a reckless mouth. And y'all seen the stuff that I posted up about her. You seen the videos I've done about her. You seen Kid Gravity talk about her. Now, listen to what she says right here. There's plenty of Tyrones and Jamals. Why does she have to say Tyrones and Jamals? She could have just said black men. She said there's plenty of Tyrones and Jamals in the hood who need jobs before y'all import Rajesh. And I can't pronounce this name that she just made up, from wherever the F y'all import people from. America first means take care of our hoods before you take care of the villages of the other world. And KG, she does typically like to sound like she's trying to be quote unquote pro-black. She can't be to save her life. Shout out to Lehman Lucas for the 5. I appreciate it. Now listen to what one of the responses was to what she said. Someone says, we don't need to give hood people jobs. We need to take care of the hoods by locking up drug dealers and scammers. The Tyrones and Jamals, if they wanted jobs, they would get them. That's the first response from a Thomas Bland, and I'm sure he's as bland as his name perceives him out to be, to her post. Oh yeah, KG, the work culture. Oh, that was crazy. Going to get up there and be intoxicated and trying to campaign. This woman is a trip. Someone else said Tyrone and Jamal need to be able to compete for those STEM jobs. It needs to be more lucrative. See what I mean? Even when you have someone like Laverne Spicer say what she says, her audience, and this is her audience, still comes under the post and still finds a way to undermine and undercut Black people's achievements or what they can do. And they're going to sit on the sidelines and say, oh, they're that Vivek Ramen Noodles and Elon Musk are being anti-white. See what I mean? This is exactly what we be talking about. They will never take a day. Listen, they can have all of this happening to them right now, and they will not have any they will not stop being anti-Black for nobody. I don't even have to read the rest of the comments. So that's what Laverne had to say. But let's continue moving forward. Let me see, make sure I got my stuff in order. Let me shift some things around. Now let's go to, we going from Laverne to Laura Looney. Now y'all know I've talked about Laura Looney on my channel several times. Laura Loomer was probably one of the main ones that crashed out about this because she felt like she lost quite a bit. Like her blue check, for instance, if you look on her page, she doesn't have that blue check no more. She used to have one, but she don't have one. And a lot of them don't, to be quite honest, a lot of them lost, but we'll continue to go forward as we move forward. So she reposted or screenshotted this exchange between this woman named Bella and Elon Musk, where this Bella person said, one of your engineers is a racist, to which Elon replied with, he is a troll, but went a little over the top in the past few days. Laura says, excuse me, sir, one of your engineers has been posting anti-white, pro-replacement takes on X, and he works for you. Now, Laura Loomer, as we all know, is anti-Black as they come. I've shown you videos of stuff this woman has said. I've shown you posts of what this woman has said. But when it comes down onto her, now she wants to cry victim. These are the same people all the time that try to tell us to stop dipping and dabbling in the victimhood. And look at what she's doing right now. The jokes practically write themselves. Again, this is the app that they thought was going to give them freedom of speech. So that's one post right there by Laura Loomer. I'm trying to see if she has any more. I think she does. It continues to go forward. Where it leads us to this person named Owen Schroyer. Now, this Owen person, him and Laura are connected because I think they were a part of the same organization. So look at this. Laura Loomer, we've temporarily limited some of your account features for 12 hours because a minute was starting to count down. So she was basically banned from posting on Twitter for 12 hours. I remember getting one of those before because I had called the Saltine Queen something. I forgot what I called her, and they gave me a 12-hour ban. So I know exactly what that's all about. Owen came back and he said, Laura Loomer has been locked out of her account for 12 hours, and underneath it, this was the reason that she was given. What happened? We have determined that this account violated the X rules, specifically for violating our rules against posting private information. You may not publish or post other people's private information without their express authorization and permission. As a result, we've temporarily limited some of your account features while in the state. You can still browse X, but you're limited to only sending direct messages to your followers, no posts, reposts, follows, or likes. Your account will be restored to full functionality in 12 hours. You can start your countdown and continue to X once you delete the post, delete the content that violates our rules. And I'm sure she probably did because she's been back on there crashing out ever since. Shout out to Samuel Bryan for the 15 months. He says, Yo, Torian, you need to check out Marjorie's response to Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy's comments after he rolled hard for Trump after he got. Okay, I'll see if I can find it. But check this out, y'all. This was the post that she made that got her account banned for 12 hours. It says, hey, I can't read the name. It says, what is this? Why did you donate to Kamala Harris's presidential campaign less than 1 month before the 2024 presidential election? You didn't even vote for Trump. Now you want to infiltrate his admin. So this post right here that she made is what got her up off of Twitter for 12 hours. Okay, hold on. KJ, I'm gonna send you the I'll send you the link on Twitter because I don't want people thinking that I'm dropping the link just yet for everybody to come up. Okay, I just sent you the link on Twitter, KG. So there you have it. That's why she was banned for 12 hours. He also goes on to say, he says, she also sent me the screenshot of the image that allegedly violated terms of service. It is a public document and private information was redacted. And to which someone replied with it said, no, it was not redacted. See, they think they know everything. See, this is what thinking you know everything gets you. Red Planet says, am I on TikTok? No, I am not on TikTok. I told myself over a year ago that was one platform I was going to steer clear of. All right, y'all, we got a guest that's coming to the stage right quick.
Happy New Year to all.
What's going on?
Breaking news. Somebody said in the chat, but I just saw it. All of Myron's checks are gone. This is beautiful. What a day.
Wait a minute. I think I sent you that. Was that what I said?
No, but he just said that they even took away the Fresh and Fit organization one.
Does this have anything to do with the GTA thing?
That, and he was also part of the Laura Loomer stuff because he was still talking about the H-1B visas.
Okay, because I actually have that in the lineup. That's why I was asking.
Yeah. This is beautiful. Now he complaining about free speech.
Oh well.
Yes, the fireworks started early and it's still sunlight. Let's go.
I know.
I'm about to go back and make this money, but I love the stream so far. I'm still listening and hopefully I don't get fired.
All right. Shout out to KG for coming up. But yeah, KG just kind of gave y'all a spoiler because that's actually what he just mentioned or came up to tell me or tell y'all. I actually have that in the lineup. So y'all are finding out something earlier than I was actually getting there. It's like it's a few posts down. I told you we gonna be here for a while. We 30 minutes in. We gonna be here for at least going over this for like another 30 minutes. And then of course, when I drop the link, y'all can come up and say what y'all gotta say. So back to Laura. Yeah, they're losing their minds over there. So not only did she get kicked off for 12 hours, but she also lost her check, which means she can't monetize her content on Twitter. Oh well, moving forward. Oh, guess who we got to talk about now? Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Look at this. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene claims companies use H-1B visas because young Americans are too busy taking selfies, drugs, and trying to become internet influencers instead of acquiring skills. So this is what she had to say. And shout out to Church for the 5. He says, ban Amra. Yeah. Listen. This has been one interesting thing after the other. That's all I got to say. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, this is what she had to say. Good gracious. I came out of Christmas bliss to see arguments about American labor versus H-1B imported labor and MAGA split over this issue. Good. That means everyone is engaged in saving this country. Here is some tough reality for you. There are some big MAGA voices with large social media platforms throwing down their opinions, yet they have never run a company that relies on thousands of skilled, highly trained workers with a constant need for reliable labor, yet they claim authority over the subject matter. So you can tell Marjorie Taylor Greene is on the side of Elon and Ramen Noodles with this response. KG, I was getting ready to say the same thing. Marjorie is literally doing the same exact thing. They all are. They're all doing the same thing. They think they're doing something unique and different, but they're all literally doing the same thing. It's like one big web. She goes on to say, when you spend years trying to constantly hire or train or maintain a good, reliable workforce, which is a 24/7 never-ending cycle, your real-world experience will produce an opinion based on reality, and all of your followers on X don't translate to this. Having owned a construction company for decades, yes, I'm that old. Yes, Marjorie, we know you are like 50,000 years old. I know firsthand our workforce issues. However, I fully believe we must make the hard and necessary changes here in the US to educate, build, and facilitate a solid foundation of knowledgeable, highly skilled, talented, well-paid American workers. Not having this is like having a crumbling foundation in our house, and currently we are importing foreigners to hold up the foundation walls and plug the leaks. Too many of our young people are killing their bodies and minds on alcohol and drugs, wasting years and money earning useless college degrees, chasing unrealistic dreams, spending all of their time trying to be the next YouTuber slash content creator slash social media influencer instead of pursuing a useful skill set trade education in order to become a part of our much needed American workforce. If you fall into this category, put down the selfie light and go apply for a job and replace the H-1B visa holders and all of the other skilled labor jobs that foreign workers are taking and American companies are desperately trying to hire. It's called building a career. You work your way up. And before I go any further, shout out to Janesta for being a member for 28 months. She says, Happy New Year, everyone. Torian Rain, aka Luda. Oh my God. Thank you for sharing wonderful content. Keep up the amazing job. I appreciate it. So as you can see, old Marge, aka B6, is on that same timing as Elon and Ramen Noodle. And shout out to I Am Legend. They said companies been using H-1B visas before the smartphone existed. What's not clicking? Oh yeah, Oh, you said Tatum and forehead. Yeah, man, listen. KG, you called it when you said November the 5th, the grift will be over. And I said, it may not be exactly on the 5th. It may not even be the day after. It may not even be the week after. But I think it's starting to creep in now. Yanni, Happy New Year to you too, as well. Oh, church. It was so fun. I'm gonna see if I can find it was a screenshot. I'm gonna see if I can pull that screenshot up. Y'all are gonna laugh at that one. That was hilarious. This whole thing is funny. So let's move on to this what's his name? Ed Krasenstein or Krasenstein. Look what this guy said, and I think I spoke about him on my channel before. Let me zoom in a little bit. Ed said, white people will one day no longer exist. It's just a matter of time. Who cares? And that's not me asking who cares. That's literally what he said. Who cares? Like they are shaking. They are shook right now. This Bob person says, why are you pushing anti-white rhetoric, Crass Ed? White people aren't going anywhere. And all you're doing is creating more division and chaos. To which Ed replied with, I'm not. You just don't understand how genetics and science works. Oh, so now you understand how science and genetics work. He says, maybe this is why we need to bring people in from other countries to work jobs that require intelligence. You're right. It is in our group chat. Let me go ahead and pull it up right quick. Hold on. Where is it? Wait a minute. Because I know I just saw because I screenshotted and sent it to y'all. Man, for some reason, I don't know where it's at, KG. If you have it, can you send it to me? Because I don't know where it's at. Oh, I found it. Never mind. I found it. So let me show y'all right quick what somebody screenshot. Well, not somebody screenshot, but somebody was talking about Brandon Fakum as it pertains to this situation. Look at this, y'all. This is what happens when you try to insert yourself into a conversation that has nothing to do with you when you don't know what you're talking about. So this person who has the name Just Nobody on there said, Brandon Tatum is another dickhead who had to, quote unquote, be seen by inserting himself into a conversation we were all having about Elon shenanigans. After about 2 people confronting him, he admitted he didn't know anything about what we were talking about, and then they ended it off with dumbass. So to the person that wanted to see what someone said about Fakum, there it is. But now we're going to move on to the next post, and it's dealing with this clown, Jesse Lee Peterson. Now, keep in mind what Ed just said. He said white people will one day no longer exist. And then Jesse Lee Peterson came back and said hours later, and ironically, it was him reposting what Ed said. I tremble at the thought that white people will one day be a minority in their own country. White people founded and built the greatest nation on earth with the help of God. If we lose white people, we lose America. That is what Jesse Lee Peterson said when he reposted what Ed said hours later. This doesn't surprise me because wasn't this the same guy that said he was going to make a White History Month and put it in July or something like that? I think that was him that said that. Infamous Eli, that's because he is. That's because he is and has been for quite some time. And shout out to the 617 people that's in the chat. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to go ahead and smash that like button. I would appreciate it. This is the last live of the year, and we ended it on a high note with the Triple P. So that's what Jesse Lee Peterson had to say. I mean, he's always going to go to bat for them. Next up, we have this post coming from this person whose name, and I just found this one today, and I think I actually sent this in the group chat that I'm in, by this person named Salty Girl. She said, WTF, what the F is going on here? This is not what we voted for. And this is a post right here from Donald Trump, and I guess this is on his True Social account. And he reposted, well, he screenshotted and posted something from Elon where he says, anyone of any race, creed, or nationality who came to America and worked like hell to contribute to this country will forever have my respect. America is the land of freedom and opportunity. Fight with every fiber of your being to keep it that way. And he ended it off with a row of U.S. flag emojis. And like I said, she said, this is not what we voted for, but oh, Salty Girl, and what an appropriate name. That is what you voted for. No, man, Samusa, that was Tommy. We talking about when he went to go see the Culture Vulture? That was Tommy. He went and took that too. But to Salty Girl, This is what you voted for. What do I always say? Cope and endure. And then, of course, there's more crashing out in the comments. Like, they are losing their minds. It's hilarious. It is hilarious. Now, remember what I said, or what KG came up here and said earlier about Amra Foodle? You know what? Just for him, I feel like I have to play the intro again. I had to play the intro again just because it was him. Now, look at this. Myron Gaines and Fresh and Fit have had their verification badges removed along with monetization after criticizing Musk's stance on H-1B visas. And shout out to Church for the 2. He said is exactly what you voted for, and it is. I'm telling y'all, what a way to end the year, y'all. What a way to end the year. So here it is right here. And don't worry, because it says screenshot Myron follows you. It's not me. It's talking about this page. So this is his page right here. And this is the Fresh and Fit podcast page right here. But they said their verification badge is removed along with monetization. So that means they can't even make money on here. That's the second time, y'all. The second time that he has been demonetized on Twitter. The second time. So that means you got demonetized on YouTube, you got demonetized on Twitch, you got banned on Twitch, you got now you're demonetized on here twice. 3 times if you include the podcast page. What's going on, Fatal? But to go back to what I said, this is what you voted for. Everybody in the chat, put the phrase that pays, cope and endure. That is what you're gonna do. That's gonna be the mantra going into 2025. Janesta, I don't hold it against you. Let me see if they talk what they're talking about in the chat. It is funny because some people in the comment section are actually glad that this happened to them. Look at this one. So somebody said, about time somebody did this. Another person put a crying, laughing emojis. Someone else said, right-wingers really thought the weird pervert nerd trust fund baby was on their side. Shout out to Thought Crimes. They said, Carmen says, you idiots falsely thought Black Americans were privileged and promoted anti-Blackness at every corner. Your new bosses are the Indians and the white liberals who joined MAGA. Most Black Americans saw this a mile away. Ramen Noodle played all of you, quote unquote, high IQ people. And it goes on and on and on. So as you can see, where some people were mad that certain people lost their verification badges and monetization, when it came to this guy right here, nobody cared. All they did was clown him, and rightfully so. Let's continue to move forward. Another person who's upset, Stu Peters. Now, this is a person I've talked about before on my channel, so it's been a long time since I spoke about him. But I talked about him before. They said Elon Musk and X are stealing, and he put stealing in all caps, money from my subscribers and lying to them. This morning, I woke up to find that X removed my blue check mark and canceled my ability to have subscribers. However, as seen in the picture below, my subscribers were told that I canceled my, and this is it. It says at Real Stu Peters has deactivated subscriptions. At the renewal date, your subscription will be canceled and you'll no longer be charged the monthly fee. So basically, what they're saying is we're going to get one more payment out of you before we cut you off together. Because, you know, we got to go into the new year with some new money. Subscription service, and they would not be refunded. So they're about to get your last coin and you're not getting it back. And they would not be refunded for the next 2 weeks, in which they already paid for, but which X won't allow me to provide them content. This is intentional deceit and theft. It probably isn't, Stu, but knowing you, you probably didn't read the fine print. Y'all, I told y'all this live was going to be hilarious. This is funny. This is hilarious. I only got 2 more tabs to go through, and then I'm gonna drop the link. So, of course, if y'all follow me on Twitter, I always say that a lot of times, a lot of the people who are anti-black, if they do something that goes outside of the realm, then they have to try to go back to factory settings or the default settings and say something that will be leaning towards being anti-black, or they go full-blown with it. And that's what Ramen Noodles did right here, but it was an epic fail. So this Jack Pasabic guy, who I've talked about before as well, and shout out to KG because he actually replied to him down here. Let's see what he's talking about. Let's start here. It said America rose to greatness over the past 150 years because it was a meritocracy more than anywhere else on earth. I will fight to my last drop of blood to ensure that it remains the land of freedom and opportunity. To which Jack said, couldn't agree more. America must have color blindness. Oh, now you want a colorblind society. See what I mean when I tell you that they got themselves in more twists and turns and knots than a pretzel. At every level of society, from K through 12 to business to military, etc. Yeah, they say that, but they don't mean it. To which KG, and shout out to Kid Gravity, he said, you still have to interview though, so they'll see your color. Exactly. But Ramen Noodle replied to him and said, in affirmative action, America is the land of meritocracy. But wait a minute. Wait 1 minute. Didn't last year the AAPI fought tooth and nail to get rid of affirmative action, at least on the collegiate level? And in less than a week, it backfired on them. And we said that probably wasn't the best thing for you to do, but what was the basis of it? In affirmative action, because apparently, allegedly, black people are the ones that are soaking all of the affirmative action up. And then when they realized that it wasn't, even though after we told them that it wasn't, that was the case, now they want to cry about it. I'm talking ending affirmative action. I thought y'all did that. The people that benefit the most from affirmative action are the main ones crashing out right now on this platform as we speak. Now, the last thing I want to show y'all, and I'm going to actually still talk about this in a short because I already recorded the short, but I said, let me go ahead and throw this in here. Now, this one was hilarious. It's not hilarious, but again, what I told you, they have to go back to default settings because when they're losing, they say, okay, let me go back to what makes me more comfortable, and that's going down and beating down on black people. So look at what Charlie Kirk wrote. He said, let's not forget, George Floyd's autopsy confirmed he died of a drug overdose. Derek Chauvin is behind bars for one reason. He's white. Truth matters. Charlie Kirk, Y'all have so much going on right now, and you find the time to bring up George Floyd again, and then try to do the whole thing of, oh, the only reason Derek Chauvin is locked up right now is because he's white. He posted this 2 days ago. Keep in mind, all of this stuff that we've been going over been going on since Christmas. And he decides, let me just go ahead and just throw something out there about George Floyd. But this person replied with, maybe Vivek was right about you people. You got to be dumb if you're talking about George Floyd while the current conversation is about immigrants taking employment opportunities from you and your children. All of this stuff is going on that could affect someone like Charlie Kirk, and he still found the time to talk about George Floyd and Derek Chauvin being locked up because he's white. Like I told you, even in the midst of something that is critical for them, they will always go back to factory or default settings, and that is to talk about us in the most negative way possible. And the crazy part about it is, everyone sees the game that people like Charlie Kirk are playing by doing this, and nobody's falling for it. Him doing this is a comfort zone for him, and people are making him very uncomfortable, and it's about time. But y'all, that was the last tab. I already know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. I dropped the link in the chat. If anybody would like to come up and speak to this, feel free to do so. We have time this evening. And look, a troll just popped right in the chat. This Angela Heslip person. She said, and all of you are butthurt because you lost Block Me losers. Well, I say give her what she wants. Hey. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. What that person, that troll just did is exactly what Charlie Kirk just did. That is what that Ed person did. That is what the other one did before him. We voted for the couch. At least I did. Wallow J, what's going on?
What's going on, Torian? What's going on everybody in the chat? When I get back in the chat, I'll block that person myself. I know the Miles already got it, but for the last one, for Charlie Kirk, the go be anti-black right during this whole firestorm, which is funny as hell, by the way. They go talk about George Floyd. Like, wait a minute, if I'm just a random person, I'm like, wait a minute. The conversations about these HB1 visas. Why are you talking about George Floyd? He ain't got nothing to do with what's going on. That man been dead for almost 5 years now. 4.5 years going on 5 years. Leave that man alone and talk about what's really going on. Because that man ain't going to do nothing to help you with these H-1B visas. I might be saying it wrong. It'll be all right. But anyway, this is the best stream of the year. I don't even care. If someone told me this was going to be the end stream of the year, I would have said I can't wait for the end of the year. Because this is the most beautiful thing in the world. Chef Kiss Mwah. Like, damn, KG, you was the MVP of new black media. I don't care. No disrespect, Torian, Miss Lisa. KG was right. The white vote will doom us all, and it's happened. He told us. KG, I give you credit, my guy. You told us. Jesus Christ. Y'all voted for this, but then you mad that they finally like, oh yeah, we finally show y'all who y'all really are. One dude is from India. One dude, well, he was born here, but his family's from India. The other guy is South African. Y'all do realize, white America, that these folks don't like you neither. Just as much, don't get me wrong, they suck up to you though. Don't get me wrong, but these folks have a disdain for you, just like they got a disdain from us. They don't show it because they want to get closer to you. And once they get closer to you, you see what happened with the South or the Bordarians have been doing to you lately. I'm just saying. So now you're getting a taste of your own damn medicine. And 2025 is going to be so damn beautiful, Torian. And I'm going to land my plane right there.
Appreciate you coming up. Shout out to Wallow J. Before we bring it the next person up, shout out to James Isaac's son one for the 5. They said I voted for the couch as well. I think the couch had a very good turnout this election cycle. And shout out to Cosmo for being a member for 3 months. He says Kirk going anti-black shows his cowardice. PC are scared itchless when it comes to calling PC people out, especially in politics. Exactly. And it shows. Let's see, who do we got next? Church, what's going on?
How you doing, Tori? How's your day going?
It's going great. You know, after going through this, I was waiting for the day. I know y'all was waiting for it too.
Yes, sir. I'm sitting here. My ribs are busting out of my sides. It's just so hilarious, man. KG, when you come up, man, you need to go ahead and get on your Harvey, your world shit. And I told you so that.
Because... you already missed it. He came up briefly earlier.
Oh no, I was here. Okay.
But
he needs to come back up and sing "I Told You So" in the key of Harvey, okay? Because he called this and he called it so directly, like in right. We might not have seen it happen directly after the election was over, but it was better that it happened the way it did because it was like a avalanche of just supremacy on supremacy crime, and I love it. One of my favorite things about this whole stream is all the folks who were instigating in the background. You know how Black Alpha be like, we need to get our popcorn and instigate this whole situation. I know you ain't gonna let them talk to you like that, because when dude was like, maybe Vivek was right about you guys, that had me in tears over here. I'm still wiping the tears off my face from it. I love it. Let these fools see everything that they've been sitting here saying about us. Let it fall tenfold upon your back. And I'll land with that, family. Thanks for having me up.
No problem. Thanks. Shout out to Church for coming up. Also, Jonathan, what's going on? Jonathan, can you hear me? I can't hear you. I don't know if it's something wrong with your mic or not. Yeah, I can't hear you. You hear me? Do you have a Bluetooth on? Yeah. I think that's what it might be. It might be the Bluetooth. You turn your turn your Bluetooth off. I'll bring you back up. Let me know in the chat when you turn your Bluetooth off, because I can't hear you. It almost sounds like you're underwater. All right, let me bring up Mansa Musa. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hey, I didn't even know. First of all, shout out to you. Shout out to the chat. I saw Lisa Cabrera. Shout out her. Shout out Kid Gravity. Bruh, I know this is a triple P. So you know what triple P is. You know, you made it. So triple P, you know, meatball activities ensue. So you know what it is. Meatballism to the fullest degree. And this is crazy because now you ended it on a high note. It's a triple P. You got to be extra petty with it. Everybody getting cooked. Everybody get cooked. Charlie Kirk that he had something, didn't he? Didn't he? He got showed up by somebody at a college campus not too long ago.
And notice that they always like going to college campuses to debate these college students who are just getting out into the world. They don't know what's going on. And they love going to I always thought that was strange to me. Like, I'm like, you are a grown man. You are older than me going to debate these 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kids, or, you know, young adults, I should say, who barely know anything about what's going on in the world. And then you be trying to say, oh, we own them. They did. I mean, Charlie Kirk did it. Matt Walsh does it. Candace has been known to do it. And so many others. I'm like, y'all do not debate people that are your equal or in your peer group. Y'all go for the young, low-hanging fruit and then say that you got to win. I'm like, really?
A dub is a dub to these guys, man. Listen, you know the terminology, the phrasing. I debate people who are my equals. All others I teach. They're not teaching nobody, bro. They've been taught the game and they just don't know how to run with the game. These guys are suckers out here. So let's just keep it a thing. These guys still talking smack, talking about George Floyd. I'm like, bro, they about to cancel your program in the next 5 minutes. You should be packing your boxes and leaving. What the hell are you talking about? Like, bro, they shutting down your office right now as we speak. Matter of fact, here come the SWAT team. You need to pack up and go, bro. You're doing too much. Get up out of there, bro. Your program is done. This is a perfect way to end 2024. I'm gonna say Kendrick Lamar said, if you crash out, then you better break the backboard. That's all I'm gonna tell you. You crash out, then you better break the backboard. That's it. That's all. B1.
B1. All right, shout out to Mansa Musa for coming up. Okay, now I think Jonathan might be good. Are you good now?
Yeah, I should be good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you much better.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so this has to be the best live you've done in 2024. And it's the last day. You went out with a bang with this one because yeah, Elon I ain't know that I will say this, but Elon and Vivek did me a good favor. They did us a favor with this, having them fooled the way they fooled them. Now everybody is been talking all that noise about us. They are losing it all, and they are going crazy. And I'm loving it. But
Yeah, like I
Charlie
said
Kirk,
earlier, like I said earlier in the live, what everything that they put onto them is what they basically are getting. The people who are crashing out over this are getting put back onto them what they've been dishing onto us for so long. See, the thing is, they thought they were going to be shielded from that. Like this wasn't supposed to happen. Like this is it's not supposed. It's kind of knocking things out of alignment for them. That is not supposed to be on their 2024 bingo card. I'll put it like that. That's not what it's supposed to be, but they now found out. And like I said, they've been going at it since last week, since Christmas. That's when all of this first happened, was on Christmas. What is the irony that this happened on that day? And almost a week later, they're still going at it. Like I told people before the stream started, I was still bookmarking tabs up until 30 minutes before the stream started. And the thing is, there's so many more I could have got where I could have still been talking, but I said I think now people pretty much get the gist of what's going on without having me to continue going on. But I mean, it's hilarious at the end of the day. I said that's exactly what they get. I thought the funniest part to me was them losing all their blue checks. they was going crazy about losing that blue check.
man, I know because I know them blue checks was that was their survival. Them blue checks is what was making them money. And for them to lose their blue checks, we might have to actually see them try to apply for 9 for 5. Like, I don't know if them subscribers will be enough for them to, put food in their mouths if it's not doing it no good to give them views or anything. And you know what I'm saying? I found it ironic how they talk about, we always choose the jocks over the nerds, and now when they always choose the white folks with no experience over black people with no experience when it comes to technical jobs and police jobs and engineering jobs. And now you see how it feels when we get done dirty because of the color of our skin. Now y'all want to claim it's anti-white for what's happened to y'all. I'm like, if you don't get out of here with that, and the fact that they're getting this crazy, and this got to a point where Charlie Kirk, for some reason, had to bring George Floyd into this. I mean, this balloon, limpy face dude, you know what I'm saying? I had enough with, I just had enough of him, man. It's like, I just want to, slap all that fatness out of his face because he sounds stupid every time he's talking or tweeting. Like, come on now, George Floyd, this man has been gone since 2020. Why did you put him into this? Is that y'all tactics when y'all failing?
Yeah, it's the thing. It's the thing of that they felt they lost something because they thought that Derek Chauvin should have got away with it. And of course, when it talks about with George Floyd, they keep bringing up that autopsy where they said, "Oh, George Floyd had the fentanyl in his system and everything like that." And I said he could have had that in his system, but that's not ultimately what took him out. And the thing of the matter is, let's just say that he had that enough in his system with a point where he could have OD'd. Isn't the cop supposed to have the Narcan on deck with them to administer to a person who's ODing and passing out? If that was the case, why didn't they do that? Why was the first thing to do was, I'm gonna just kneel on this man's neck for 9 minutes? See, they don't they don't go that far into. They just go with, oh, on here it said, but that's the thing. Like, that's not the official autopsy. That's the one they want to go with. So they're gonna be going with this until I don't know how long. Just know Derek Chauvin, he got 22 and a half years. He's fortunate to have gotten that, because in a perfect world, he would have got life. And in the perfect, well, also in another perfect world, he probably would have been set up to be put on that table. Y'all know what I mean when I say that.
Oh, and I was going to say that too, but you took the words right out of my mouth. Man, you know what? At this point, as stupid as they've been sounding, as ignorant as they've been sounding, in the perfect world, they'll be locked up for all the dumb stuff they tweeted and said something. And like I said, the best part is when Fresh and Fit, they got demonetized, and I'm like, first YouTube, and they ain't getting that back. They done, like, YouTube is done with them. Now X, they possibly won't get that back. They banned from Twitch. Like, when y'all gonna learn that these people that y'all suck up to?
All they have now is Rumble, and I don't know, like, if people like really know about it, but like Rumble's like monetization system is real different from YouTube's. I don't know how Twitter's work, because I've never been monetized on there. But from speaking from the standpoint with me, Rumble's monetization works a lot differently. It's like it's based on, like, I mean, I guess you could say it's some ads there, but a lot of it comes from contribution, almost like it's almost like they got a built-in Cash App system. So you have to have people like send money that way, and that's the way that it works on Rumble. It's not through like the major ads, because Google is a way bigger company. It's a conglomerate, so they can afford to pay this many people. But yeah, they about to be slumming over there. And listen, all Amron Foodle is going to do is the same thing Charlie Kirk is doing right now, and that's to get on there and go back to the default settings, like I say, and talk about black people. But that's not going to work in your favor either. Now that they've done snatched the monetization away, so you'll just be doing that for nothing. So where you going to go?
And exactly, like, where you going to grift that now? Because, like I said, YouTube, they're not getting their monetization back from YouTube. They lost their blue checks and got demonetized from X, just like these other, anti-black white users of X. They possibly might not get that back, or probably gonna be a while till they get it back. But Amron Foodle and Walter, I forgot his last name, don't really care, aka Fraud and Fart. They're about done, man. Like everywhere they platform, they're banned.
Yeah, that's why when they was going over, when I was looking through the thread, when they said that they lost their monetization and their badges and everything, people was under there clowning them because they were tired of them. Like, they didn't feel nothing for them at all that they lost their monetization, and on both pages. Because remember, Amron Foodle, he had a whole nother Twitter account that was monetized and had way more. I remember it had like way more followers. I think he might have been in the millions. He had a lot of followers on there. And then that one got pretty much shut down. And then he opened up this new one, which I think he had as a backup. And then he monetized that one. And now that one's done. And the Fresh and Fit page is done. So you had pretty much blocked out yourself on every platform that you. When will you realize that you are the common denominator? And like KG just said earlier, he probably is on there talking about how it's not even his fault. No accountability.
And you know what I'm saying? You think they'd be smart enough to realize, like, these folks that they bedbuck for ain't for them? Continues to bedbuck for them. Just like the dude who said he was used for a vote, he's steady saying it's still MAGA, you know what I'm saying? And now he's talking about he ain't gonna have no family and all that. Like, y'all don't get it. Yeah, it's like y'all won't get it until y'all get really, really taken out. Like, what will it take for y'all to understand that these folks will not fight for you the way how you fight for them? Like how you put on the cape, be that black shield for them, they won't be that white shield. They won't wear the cape on for you that way. If something goes bad and it gets worse, and it's like not going that way, and they're starting to fall apart, you're gonna be the first black sellout, that black coon that you slave for. You're gonna be the first one they throw under the bus to save their asses, because you've been the shield, the black shield, and the person that throws a cape on for them. Like, you are going to be thrown under that bus, and you will not be heard from them again. And next thing you know, you're like lost and don't know what to do because you can't come back to us. You fucked up by throwing us under the bus every day as your grift just to make some money because that's all they want to do. They just using you, to find a story to what they want to hear. And so next thing you know, they subscribe to you and they even pay for, they paid you to throw us under the bus. Now look at you. So yeah, Amra Fudo, you know what I'm saying? He needs his behind beat too. Him and his ugly alien Walter, like, oh, ET looking dude. They both need their behinds beat the way how they just dragged us under the mud. So man, I think at this point I'm gonna start trolling them and ask them how they feeling now that y'all got thrown on the bus. But I'm gonna be a bigger man and not do that. And I'm gonna get back to work. I just wanted to come by and just let you know how I feel about this because I could never been happy. Thank you for this live. I'm landing my plane. B1.
B1. Shout out to Jonathan. And also, when I get off of here, and I don't know why I didn't think to do this while I was going through the slides or the tabs. I'm gonna go look in Terrence K. Williams' page because I want to know what because he been real quiet. The conversation over there probably been his riding them pancakes that he be trying to peddle around. But I'm gonna go look on his page after this live is over. But let's see, we got AW1. What's going on?
What's going on, chat? What's going on, Torian? Yep. All I can say is, Torian, thank you for like not. It's funny because I saw lately people have been trying to say, "Oh, you're grifting for this side or that side," and I just laugh at it because it's like, man, they clearly don't know you. That's how robotic they are because each side is in their bubble, whether it's the blue team or the red team. And you know what I'm talking about, right? But I applaud you for just going after both of these parties because they both suck. Neither one of them like us.
This is what I mean when I say both sides are attached to the same buzzer. And I told people it was fun, like we was going after the Democrats during
yeah, definitely. I'm sorry, go ahead.
But I said, but this right here, this one might take the cake. And it's crazy because it didn't take long. It's like the person you voted for just got reelected,
right?
And this happens literally in the last full week of the year.
Mm-hmm. Right. And the thing is about that as well, it just reminds, we know this because Tori, we're free thinking minds over here. They don't like us. And I'm cool with that. I don't want to hang out with people like that. Not so much because they're Democrats or Republicans or liberal and conservatives. You know what I mean? I mean, because I got, like I told you, I got friends, I got people that are Republicans, Democrats, liberals, conservatives, all types. I got a neighbor that's a Republican. He even has a flag, don't tread on me flag. But he's a cool dude. He doesn't rock with a lot of this nonsense on the internet because it makes his life harder because of these idiots. Like you mentioned, that Tatum dude. And speaking of cancel, yeah, Myron got our boy Rob channel taken away. Mr. Free Speech himself.
When?
Oh, it was like a month ago. You didn't see? Yeah, BL1 too. Yep.
No. I know what you're talking about. His channel is still active. What I told him to do, and he actually did it.
Okay.
Is to make sure that his channel stays good because I know that they put a I guess you could say a restriction on it. We already know what it is, but I just say restriction.
Oh, okay.
I told him to make his page private, so they won't try to continue to mess with it. Because if it's private, then you can't see it. And then once that restriction is taken off, then unprivate it. That's what I told him. So he still has it. That's why I had to think about. That's why I had to think about for a second. Huh? Like that kind of threw me off guard for a minute.
Oh, so they didn't take it away. Okay.
No, he made the channel private until it's removed.
But think about this, Myron, Mr. I want to make racism great again. Try to get someone's channel taken away on quote unquote hate speech. The jokes writes themselves.
And you know what's so crazy? It's funny. It's interesting that he came after Rob, who has a much smaller channel than the people
way smaller, right?
Who technically definitely be going at him. I mean going in, but I don't know.
Maybe his waves are on his head too tight. I don't know.
Crazy.
All right, let's someone else come up here, man. B1, stay woke, y'all, and B1.
B1. All right, shout out to AW1. Up, y'all know what time it is. Hurricane Niecy done swept up here.
How you doing, Torian?
Doing good.
Happy New Year to the family in the chat. Quick statement. I wrote it earlier in the chat. PC, WS, they're sycophants. This is reciprocity, karma. Chickens then came home to roost. Payback is a bitch. That's all I got to say.
Appreciate you. Shout out to Ms. Niecy for coming up, and she is going to round out the last of the guests coming up to speak. But before we get out of here, let me shout out to We Next DSB for gifting 5 memberships to the channel. I need to scroll up and see who got the memberships. Let me see if I can catch them. Okay, we got Millennium Earl, G Road Mo, Yolanda Emma Crawford, and Jay Wishbone. Shout out to each of you for becoming a member of the channel, and shout out to DSB for giving out those memberships. But y'all, we have made it to the end. This actually ended a lot sooner than I was expecting it to, but you know what? That's fine. Because I know some people probably gonna go out and have a good time tonight. I don't want to keep y'all, from doing your thing. We will be back on here tomorrow. We got the 10 a.m. premiere, and we also have a live tomorrow as well. It'll be the first live of the year, but that one will be back at regular time at 6 p.m. I just wanted to do this one earlier today, but that'll be at 6 tomorrow. I'm gonna put that one up in a little bit, probably in a couple of hours or so, and y'all will see what that'll be about. But with that being said, y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a happy new year. If you are going out, please be safe, because I don't want to hear any horror stories, but please be safe, but definitely have a good time. And with that being said, I'm out. B1.